Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today it is the first Tuesday of the month, so I'm going to be updating my Eyeshadow Roulette and Pan That Eyeshadow projects. So let's just jump right into it. I had 5 shades in for the month of November, so I will go ahead and share with you my progress on all of those. But first, I do have one bonus pan to share with you all. So my bonus pan comes from my Wet n Wild Rosie in the Air palette, and it is this red shade right here, and I'm covering up the shade next to it because that is the one that was in the project. But it's just a little tiny baby pan, but I knew I was close. This is a very well-loved palette in my collection, as you can hopefully see the pans there. But yeah, one little baby pan in this palette. Alright, now we can get into the 5 shades that I had in for the month of November. So first up was the shade Simmer from my Tartelette Toasted palette, so I will insert a picture of what that one looked like at the start of this month. And here we are now with this shade. So as you can see, I did get a pretty good amount of progress on the shade. The Tarte logo that is in the shades is pretty much worn away completely now. I did use this one 7 times this month, and I am actually really happy about that usage. This isn't a shade from this palette that I typically reach for, so it was really nice to have it to be my focus shade this month, and I really did enjoy using it all over my lid. And I think for the shade I did make some good progress. This is a very difficult formula to show progress on, so I am happy with what you can see. Next up is the Be Bella Cosmetics Sweet Sunflower palette, and I had the shade You Are My Sunshine, so I will insert a picture of what that one looked like. And here we are now with the shade. I used this one 4 times, and you can start to see a little bit of use in this shade. It was untouched when I first rolled it in, so I did end up getting a few uses, but yellow golds like this just aren't my favorite to use in general. I tried to use it as much as I could and only got 4 uses, which honestly I was quite happy with. This is not my favorite shade from this palette, but I am happy that it did get rolled in this past month and I was able to get at least a couple uses out of it. It is also a bit of a chunkier shimmer formula, so that one is not my favorite either, but overall it is a nice shade. It's just not personally my favorite. Next up we have my Shared Planet Tiger palette, and I had the shade Claude from this palette, so I will insert a picture of what that one looked like. And of course with the shade there is virtually no difference. I only used it 4 times, but if you have seen other videos where I've used this palette, these shades are so incredibly hard to show progress on at all. You might be able to see like a little movement in the pan just like from swatching it, but I promise I did use it, but you really can't tell at all. But that's okay. I really enjoy this palette and I really do enjoy the shade, so I was happy to reach for it this month, and maybe one day it will show more progress, but I do know that I used it, so that is what is important to me. Alright, next up from my Wet n Wild Rosie in the Air palette, I had shade number 8, which was next to the shade I hit pan on, so I'll insert a picture of what that one looked like. And here is where this one is at today. So there is a little bit of a dip forming in this shade, but not too much progress. I only used this one 4 times as well, and I pretty much stopped using it after I had hit pan on this shade. But it is a nice shade, and one day I am going to hit pan on the final 3 shades in this palette, and I am super excited about that because this one is obviously a very well loved palette in my collection, and I just wanted to get a little bit closer to my goal of hitting pan on all 10 shades. And my final palette up for this month was the I Heart Revolution and Disney Beauty and the Beast palette, and I had the shade Gaston, so I will insert a picture of what that one looked like at the start of this month. And here is where we are now with this shade, so you can see a little bit of usage. I used this one 6 times, which I was quite happy about. I wasn't really sure about using the shimmery red shade all that often, but I did find ways that I enjoyed using it, mostly as an outer corner shade, and then I would tap some other shades over top of it so it wasn't super red in the look. But I did really enjoy using this shade, and I enjoy the formula of it. It's a nice fine shimmer, which is what I prefer. So I was really happy to get some use out of the shade and out of this palette as a whole. So that will conclude my 5 shades for November. And now we can get into choosing my shades for December. Alright, so now we can get into rolling for December, and this is our final month of the year, so I'm super excited. I can't believe we are already at the end of the year, but the first palette I have up here is my ColourPop and Disney It's a Princess Thing palette, and here is what this one looks like on the inside. And as always, if a shade has pan in it or has already been in this project, I will re-roll, but my Pretty Random app is set from 1 to 15, so we will randomize, and we get shade number 8. So shade number 8 is Fairy Godmother right here, and I'm super excited about this one. I think this is a very stunning shade, and I am just very excited. This is a shade that I have been wanting to reach for more, so this will be a really good opportunity. My next palette up is my I Heart Revolution and Disney Cinderella palette, 2 princess palettes. So here is what this one looks like on the inside, so I wanted to pull this one for the month because it has a lot of beautiful blue shades. So I have my Pretty Random app set from 1 to 18, and we get number 18, which is the shade Nightingale. So here is an up-close view of what Nightingale looks like. This, I have only probably used the shade once, I think, but I am excited to get some use out of it and see how I like to use it. Blue is not an everyday color for me, so I am curious to see how I will choose to use it throughout this month, and I am really excited to reach into some of the other blues in this palette as well. So my next palette up is the e.l.f. Little Black Beauty Book palette, and I got this for Christmas quite a few years ago, but I wanted to pull it out again, and here is what it looks like on the inside. So there are 48 shades in this palette, so I will go ahead and randomize, and we get shade number 5. So here is a close-up of what shade number 5 looks like. This is not a very used shade in this palette, so I'm excited. It is going to be really nice for just everyday looks, just to pop all over the lid, kind of like a one and done look, and I am very excited to get some use out of it and out of this palette in general. I'm close to pan in a couple of shades in here, so I'm hoping to get maybe a couple bonus pans this next month. Alright, next we have one of the newest palettes in my collection. This is the IBY Beauty Wonderland palette. And here is what it looks like on the inside. So there are 20 beautiful shades in here, and I am just super excited. We get number 3, which is this shade Ethereal. So here's a close-up view of this one. It is completely untouched, but I am so excited. This is one of the shades that I'm the most excited to reach for in this palette, so I think it will be a lot of fun to play with this next month. And I feel like a nice soft silver color like this is perfect for December and winter time. And I am just super excited. This is definitely one of the shades I would have chosen for myself if I could have. So I'm really happy it was the one that was rolled in. Then my final palette will be my Rude Cosmetics Roaring 20s Reckless palette. So here is what this one looks like on the inside. So once again, I have my Pretty Random app set from 1 to 20, and we get shade number 15. So shade 15 is the shade Mojo. This is a matte green shade. I was kind of hoping for like one of these blues, but honestly, having a green in for around Christmas time I think will be really nice, and I will be able to create some fun Christmassy looks with this shade. So that is super exciting. Overall, I am super excited about my color story this month. And yeah, I'm excited to have this shade in and this palette in general. So those are going to be my 5 shades for the month of December. I am super excited. I will go ahead and insert a picture of the swatches. So I think for having the individual shades, I am super excited. Each of the shades will be really nice for this time of year. I'm not sure exactly how well they will all pair together, but I am definitely excited about trying out these palettes. Obviously, I have one of my newest palettes in here, and I also have a couple older ones that definitely need some more love from me. So I am just super excited about this month's round of shadows, and yeah, we can just get right into my Pan That Eyeshadow update next. Alright, next we are going to update my Pan That Eyeshadow project. So I had in my e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette, and I had the shade Canvas. So I will insert pictures of what this one looked like from the start of the projects and the updates before this one. And as you can see now, I do have a pan in this shade, which is super exciting. I used this one 17 times to hit pan, and that was just in this project. I used it close to 30 times, I believe, total to get a pan in here, but I am super excited. So that is going to be this shade rolling out of this project. And as always, the way that I update this project is I mostly just do it as a rolling style on my Instagram and then do monthly updates with this video. So I did already choose my new shade for this next part of the project, so I will go ahead and share that shade with you now. So my new shade comes from my other e.l.f. palette. This is the e.l.f. Little Black Beauty book. I believe this one might be discontinued, but I still enjoy using it, and this one is also a part of my December round of Eyeshadow Roulette, as you would have already seen if you watched that part. But the shade that I have for Pan That Eyeshadow is shade number 3, which is this one right here. So here is a closer look at this shade. So this one is just going to be super simple to throw on the lid as an everyday shade, everyday look. Similar to the shade that I have in for Eyeshadow Roulette. It's basically going to be a one and done type of look. But I am super excited. I have hit pan on 3 shades in this palette already. So I know these shades are fairly easy to hit pan on, so I don't intend this to be in the project for very long, but I am excited to get another pan in this project over the next couple months. So that will conclude my updates for my Eyeshadow Roulette and Pan That Eyeshadow project. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. I also have a playlist for this project, and I will link that down below if you would rather follow along that way. And with all of that said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!